Hey geometry class, we are now in chapter 5 and this is our first lesson in chapter 5. We're going to be looking at something called the mid-segment theorem and then we're going to be looking at some coordinate proofs. Coordinate proofs aren't going to be any, there's not going to be any in this lesson, but we're probably going to go over some in class. So our objective in this lesson is to use properties of triangle midsegments. And that is the main thing in this lesson is all about midsegments. Okay, so here's what a midsegment is. A midsegment of a triangle is a segment that joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. So looking at this triangle down here, you can see that just looking at side QP and QR, if I find the midpoint, here's the midpoint right there, um, because it shows that this segment right here is equal to this segment right here by showing those little tick marks right here. Okay, so we know that this is the midpoint right here. And then same thing goes on this side. Y here is the midpoint between R and Q. Now, if we connect these two midpoints together on either side, both sides of these triangles, both sides of this triangle, what we have is a midsegment. So XY is a midsegment of a triangle. And here, this right to finish this off, it says every triangle has three midsegments. That's why you see three segments drawn inside of this triangle. And there are properties about these midsegments, and that's what we're going to look at next. Before we move on to that, one thing I do want to say is whenever you do draw all three midsegments inside a triangle, we have what's known as the midsegment triangle. So this is a midsegment triangle right here of the bigger triangle. Okay. Okay, so this right here is our triangle midsegment theorem. And what it states is a midsegment of a triangle is parallel to the side of the triangle, and its length is half the length of that side. So here we have this side AC, and the midsegment of AC is always parallel to the side that we're referring to. So AC, the midsegment of AC is DE. And a property about that is that DE here is going to be half the length of AC. And that is what, whoops. Let me go back. And that is what we see right here in our property. We have DE is equal to 1/2 of AC. So 1/2 times AC, or you can say AC divided by 2. Means the same thing. Multiplying by 1/2 and dividing by 2 are the same thing in math. Okay, so let's look at the next example here. Okay, so using that midsegment theorem that we just looked at, we're going to find each measure that we're asked to find. So we're asked to find BD and AC. Well, let's look at this figure over here. We have BD is right here. Highlight that. And that is parallel to our line or segment right here, AE. The two lines that are parallel to one another, they are midsegments of each other. Well, AE and BD. BD is the midsegment of AE. So how the theorem goes, it says that BD, even though it has a question mark, I'm going to write is equal to 1/2 of AE, the side that it is parallel to. Okay, so and we know the measurement of AE. So AE is equal to 17 So let's do that calculation. 1/2 times 17, BD, is equal to, let's see, 8.5. And we're done. We found the length of BD. And now we're going to do the same thing with AC. Okay, let me get a different color here. Now AC, I'm going to highlight that, is right here. And that is parallel to this line, sorry, this line right here. And so those two lines, FD is the midsegment of AC. So what we're going to do here is, since the midsegment is 1/2 the length of its parallel side, AC, we're going to say that AC is equal to not 1/2 FD, but 2 times. 2 times FD. Okay? So we're just using that in reverse. When we're finding the bigger side of the triangle, we're going to multiply it by 2. When we're finding the mid-segment triangle, any pieces of that, we're going to be dividing by 2 instead. So 2 times FD. And FD, we have that length is equal to 6.2. So that there is equal to 12.4. And we're done finding those measures. Okay, very similar exercise to the last one. We're going to do this. We're going to find each measure. Again, we are asked to find LJ and MP. So let's look at these. Or JL, not LJ. Okay, I'm going to highlight again this side. There's LJ, and it's parallel to this midsegment right here. There. And so PN and JL are the parallel sides, and we are going to say that LJ is equal to, well, it's the bigger side, so it's 2 times what PN is. So let's write that down. 2 times PN, and that is equal to 2 times, let's see, 36, which is equal to 72. And we're done. Now let's do the same thing with PN. I'm going to do that in a different color. Let's go back to red. Now MP, let's locate where that is. Okay, that one is a midsegment. And it's parallel to this side of our triangle. Okay. All right. And so PN or MP is a midsegment. So it's 1/2 the length of its parallel side, which is 97. I'm going to write out LK first, just so we know what we're looking at. So 1/2 the length of LK, which is 97. Do that calculation, and we end up with 48.5. And we are done. Okay, so our next exercise is just a little application problem to what we are looking at with midsegments. And it says this: in an A-frame support, the distance PQ, down here, is 46 inches. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. So from here to here, that is 46 inches. Okay, it asks us what is the length of the support ST if S and T are the midpoints of the sides. So what it's saying is this is equal to this, and this side, and this right here, they're both congruent. These two are midpoints of both of those sides. All right, so in this case right here, what we've been looking at all along, ST is the mid-segment of PQ. So to find that support ST, the distance or the length of that support, we're just going to say ST is equal to 1/2 the length of PQ. And we know PQ is 46. And that ends up equaling, let me see, oh, well, 23. And this is in inches. So put your unit of measurements down, please, whenever we're working with word problems like this. So there we go. We have our length that we are looking for. On this, that is actually the end of the lesson. What I have next for you guys to do is a lesson quiz, and we will be beginning class after we watch this lesson with this lesson quiz and going over and discussing these problems before you start your assignment. So look at these 5 problems that I have for you. Here's the first 3. And then here's the next 3, or next 2. And I will tell you on number 5 here, let me get my little laser pointer out. On number 5, we're asked to, it says triangle XYZ is the mid-segment triangle of triangle WUV. What is the perimeter of XYZ? Well, first things first is you have to figure out all of the side measurements of triangle XYZ. Whenever you're done with that, remember perimeter of any polynomial is just going to be all the sides added up. So once you have all 3 sides, add them up and you've got your answer. Okay, so like I said, we will be going over this in class, these last 5 problems in our lesson quiz, and I will see you later. So goodbye, everybody.